Hello, my name is Navigator, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Valaverse Action Force Colonel Siege action figure. And I want to be really careful with him because the bottom here has already opened. I got it from Amazon, so I don't really know what I was expecting. It's already opened there, and some of the accessories have kind of fallen through, so I want to make sure it's stable. But there is a pretty good view of Colonel Siege here. And here's a look at the back, very similar to G.I. Joe. Collect them all. Colonel Siege, real name Christopher Jackson, Regimental Field Commander from Huntsville, Texas, and he is a colonel of Action Force. Colonel Siege was born Christopher Jackson, the son of a corrections officer at one of Texas' largest prisons. His father taught CJ to see the world in terms of right and wrong. This regimented worldview led him to serve as his father did, but with aspirations to protect his country as a United States Marine. His military service was exemplary, earning a reputation as a focused Marine who excelled at prioritizing his squad's safety while accomplishing their mission objective. Jackson tore through several promotions, earning the rank of colonel just before the U.S. government collapsed during the Divide. In the wake of the Divide, Siege saw the country moving in a corrupt and freedomless direction. Honor-bound to protect his country, he began recruiting top-shelf soldiers and operators to counter the emerging threats of the Swarm, New Colonia, the Garrison, and Crimson Shadow organization. When the colonel recruited Condor to help lead the charge, he knew Action Force was ready for anything. Of course, Condor is kind of that SAS, leader of the Action Force. It's pretty much just like a G.I. Joe spinoff, but I do not currently own any Valaverse Action Force figures, and according to websites and things I've seen in stores, these figures are actually pretty expensive. But I saw this guy on Amazon for $30, and I was like, you know what, I have to pick it up. As you guys know here on the channel, anybody with jeans, anybody with an eye patch, anybody smoking a cigar or a cigarette, or that has gray hair, I am going to buy that figure, and here we have it. This is nearly a dream figure of mine. There are so many cool accessories, bits and bobs we'll get to, and without further ado, let's take this off and we can take a look at Colonel Siege. So what I'm going to do is be really careful with the packaging here because I don't need to rip that off, and I will slowly slide that out. One of the parts that already did fall out was going to be the stand, this very cool custom Valaverse stand, or Action Force stand. So we have that, and that is really cool. Kind of got the little sand pattern going on there with that decal. That is really nice. And then I think this might be for like a little card. I think you can actually cut out that card that I was reading and stick it in the back there. That is really cool, and I will be doing that. Just not in this video. What I'm going to do now is just get a lot of these accessories out if I can. Get all these hands together. Let's see. I don't want to break anything, though. There are some like very small plastic pieces I want to be careful with. And while we're here, I'm going to rip out... Come on, baby. There we go. Beautiful. I'm going to rip that out. That should be good to go now. We can get those cool, what do you call those? The Judges, I think. I forget what they're called. They're like the Rhino revolver. The extra head here. Wow. These are really in there. My God. Oh, my gosh. That was exactly what I was talking about. Please tell me that it's removable. Oh, it is. Thank the Lord. Okay. He has a cigar in his mouth, and I thought I just shattered it. Got one more gun here, and then the figure itself. He came out pretty well. All right, first things first, I want to know how good these figures are. There's Marvel Legends style, G.I. Joe Classified styled, but I always was wondering how decent they are. And honestly, guys, feel-wise and articulation-wise, I cannot discern this from a G.I. Joe Classified figure. I mean, look at the legs here. Those legs are nearly one-for-one G.I. Joe Classified. That is crazy. The articulation is there. The art is there. This is just awesome. All right, real quick, we'll go over the accessories here. I'll get these out of the way. Number one, we do have just two sets of kind of weapon holding hands. This is where you kind of hold like the pump of a pump action shotgun. We do have those open hands, I guess you could call them. Two typical kind of just like mic holding hands, or the Lego man hands, as I like to call them, but we do have those. We also have two fisted hands, which is pretty cool. So we have those as well. And it's very similar to the accessories from a wrestling figure. I mean, same sculpt and everything, it seems like. And then we have this one hand here that is holding the cigar, which is really cool. I love that. Speaking of the cigar, this was the head sculpt that I was talking about. It is identical, I believe, to the other one, except for that little hole there. And in that little hole goes the cigar, which looks awesome. And this is definitely the head sculpt I will be displaying. That just looks incredible. Love how that looks with the gray hair, kind of the I don't even know what kind of haircut that would be. There is one denotion I could put to that haircut, but I don't really want to say it if you guys... What was that? The dog next door was howling. Who knows? Right here, though, we do have a repeating lever action shotgun. What a sick and unique weapon. The detail on this thing is insane. You even have the feeder there, which is crazy. But that is awesome. Looks just like a Marlin or something like that. Or a Winchester. That is just incredible. And speaking of the guns, we also have these dual, I think these are, I feel like I want to say rhinos or like judges, but these dual revolvers here, which are awesome as well. Those are super sweet. All right, that's all the accessories. Really quickly here, we'll do a nice little overview of the figure, and then we'll wrap it up. So like I said, on the legs here, it's pretty much just that standard G.I. Joe classified articulation, double jointed everything aside from the feet. But the green pants, we got the kind of this, I want to say like grayish black boots, not super black, but the holsters here are made for those little revolvers there, and they're identical on either side. Kind of comes up to this nice little gun belt here. It's cool. He's like a mix between like a cowboy and like what is it, Hawk from G.I. Joe. But up here you got the Action Force shirt, kind of that like nice light blue turquoise. You got this really cool tan, almost like waxed or like bomber jacket or leather jacket, which is super sweet. Got some buttons on there and everything. Wraps around to the back. And then there's even butterfly joints, which are colored for the jacket, so there's no mistaking it there. I guess if you wanted to take it off, you know, you can see in there, that's a little bit of an but if you keep the jacket on, it's all good. Got the Henley V-cut there. And then finally here, the head sculpt, like I said, identical to the other one, except this one does not have this cigar. But guys, overall, and you know, actually, before we do that, let's see how these stands work. Ooh, there's pegs all over this too, so you can get them in a lot of different poses. That is awesome. But let me see if I can get this on here. You know, I can do it on one peg, but yeah, he stands there pretty well. It's thick enough that the weight won't really like set it off or anything. But guys, I gotta say, I had always thought these Valaverse figures would be like really fragile or really loose or just not really be that great. I always thought the price was gonna be way too out of my price range, but guys, these things mesh so well with the G.I. Joe Classified that they're nearly indistinguishable. On top of that, you can find a good deal like I did. I got this for $29.99, on Amazon. This is awesome. Look at all the accessories. Look at the stand that it comes with, the figure itself. This is super cool, and I really hope that I can find some good deals on some Valaverse Action Force figures in the future, because I'm totally going to add more of these to my collection. I mean, hell, look at that. I got a whole G.I. Joe shelf over there. He is totally going to be going in there right along Hawk. And where is Hawk? I think Hawk is right there. So, yeah, definitely a win. Definitely a great deal on Amazon. There were only like 2 left, and I got one of them. So maybe if you're seeing this video, you can probably go on there and look for it. But this is pretty sweet. Once again, folks, a review of the Valaverse Action Force Colonel Siege figure, and I will leave it at that. As always, my name is Navigator. Have a nice day. Take care.